Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Homewrecker podcast. I am the Golden Greek, Alex Arion, joined as always by my beautiful, lovely, gorgeous wife, Monique.
You cannot multitask.
What are you talking about?
He's like, hello. And then he's messing with the soundboard trying to do the music.
Why do you have to give away the secrets?
It was such awkward pauses. It's
no, not at all. It
is.
That was totally natural sounding.
Yes, yeah.
You don't know what's going on. Thanks for exposing us. And
I'm keeping it real.
My inadequacy as a...
No, that's not what I meant. That's not what I meant.
How are you doing?
I'm well. And yourself?
Well, great. Fantastic. As always.
Woo.
Yes.
Yeah. We tried to do the Mensa IQ test.
Oh, my goodness. Yes.
So we find one, and we're like, okay, because it's like, it says they're Mensa IQs, and I'm like, we should just go to Mensa.com. But Alex found one, and we we took it, like, we're taking it, and he's like, oh, wait.
Well, I finished it. Like, they give you, I think, 25 minutes to do it. And I finished it in like 8 minutes. And of course, the entire way, they're pumping your ego, right?
Yeah, you've done this faster than like 82% of the people taking the test.
Yeah, all this stuff. And like every 4 or 5 questions, it'll pop up with this message like, oh, you're faster than blah, 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 and this and that. And you're like, yeah, you're feeling yourself like, yeah, I'm smart. Then I get all the way to the end, and I'm waiting for my results. And it hits me with, so what should we send this to? Your results to? I'm like, okay. So you put in my email address. So they got my email address. Damn it. And then it hits me with, get your results for $1. I'm like, what? I have to pay? I'm not paying for this. Forget it, jerks.
Yeah.
But it gave me a range. I was like, my IQ was, what the hell was it? It was like somewhere between 117 and
136.
No, it was higher than that. It was like 167. It was like a big range. I'm like, okay, so all right, whatever. So ridiculous.
Like, one of the first questions was, I think, like, if a farmer had 8 sheep and lost all but 2, how many sheep does the farmer have left? And I was like, well, if he lost all but 2, then he obviously has 2 left. But it was just funny because I'm like, oh, it's those trick questions to see if you're paying attention. That's what it is. To see if you're paying attention,
you're picking up on it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's, yeah. And I found another one, and I tried doing it. Like, well, I did like half of it, and then I realized, oh, it's the same idea. They're going to charge me at the end. Forget it.
Yeah.
So
we'll find one.
Whatever.
That's free.
Unbelievable. So that's the update. We still don't know what our IQ is. But speaking of IQ, my favorite part of the show, I get to ask you a question that was asked of the lady with the highest recorded IQ. So I'm going to ask you the question. This is our Ask Monique segment. So Monique.
Yes.
I'm going to ask you a question, and then you're going to answer it. And then we're going to compare your answer to the answer of the woman with the world's highest recorded IQ, Marilyn Vos Sant. So here we go. Dear Monique, how can we find an honest politician?
You can't.
That's the answer?
Yeah.
All right. Well, Marilyn Vos Sant replied, we'll know we have an honest politician when the winner of a narrow election asks for a recount.
I'm a little more pessimistic.
Well, I mean,
but
she's right, though.
Yeah.
What winner of a narrow election is going to ask for the recount? The winner. Probably not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. So with that in mind, let's carry on and move on with the show. Today's going to be kind of we're just going to talk about a bunch of different stuff.
Yeah, a bunch of topics. The first thing I want to mention.
We'll see where the conversation takes us. Go ahead.
Go to buymeacoffee.com/homewrecker podcast. We have bonus content on there. We will be adding more. There might be more out by the time this episode airs. But go on there, show your support, check out our bonus content. There are never before heard episodes. You can only get it there.
Yes.
Yes, and there's some really good episodes.
Yeah, we did some funny stuff.
We did.
Interesting stuff.
Some hot topics and fun stuff. But you got to pay for that, sorry.
How it works.
Yeah. But go on there. It's not that expensive. So we want to do it so even if you don't, the times are tough. We get that. We know money's tight. but we don't make any money off this podcast. So if you want to show your support and get something out of it, it's very affordable and you have some fun in the process. So buymeacoffee.com/homewrecker podcast and you can go check it out.
There you go.
Yeah.
So you have recently been doing a sugar detox.
Yes, I have.
All right, I'm going to ask a few questions.
Okay.
What made you decide to do this?
I just wanted to. I wanted to see if I could do it. Okay, so let me back up. A couple of years ago, I thought I should do a sugar detox, get rid of and I was just doing processed sugar. No ice cream, no cookies, anything like that. And I think I got 3 days in and I kept having dreams about donuts and cakes and desserts that I think after 1 week of no sugar, no processed sugar, I was like, okay, well, I did about a week and then I binged for like 4 weeks straight, having tons of dessert and ice cream. And yeah, it was very off balance for the time I went without the sugar. So I wanted to see, can I do this? And then can I do this processed sugar detox and then get on a regular schedule of not having processed sugar all the time? Because I really love ice cream. I love desserts. I love chocolate. And I love baking stuff. And there's sugar in that. So I wanted to see what I could do. And I figured, why not just do it? So I had to mentally get my mindset to do it because the first time I tried, I went cold turkey. I was like, I'm just going to try and do this. And I didn't mentally prepare myself or physically prepare myself. And I think that's another huge reason I failed. So I just decided I want to do this because I want to see if I can do it.
And how long has this been going on for now?
I have completed now 3 weeks. I'm going into week 4.
How long you plan on doing it for?
I wanted to do it for a month.
And then what? Just start eating sugar again?
Well, I'll probably,
Like,
I was telling
Are you going to go nuts again? To completely undo all the work you
that's
did?
part of, I'm looking at maybe just having like 1 day a week where I'll have something. But then I was thinking like during certain months, do another like month of nothing. So like in the summer, I love ice cream. So maybe during the summer, once a week, I'll have ice cream. But then as we get into the fall, go without it. And then as we get towards Halloween, I make our kids candy. It's all homemade stuff. And it's really good. So I'll want to have that. So I'll go back to my once a week. And then I'll stop until about the holidays, like Thanksgiving and like, you know what I mean?
So you're going to go seasonal?
I'm gonna go based off when I know because I'm like, I know myself. And if I want to set myself up to succeed with something, I don't want to go like no sugar ever because I like it and I want to be able to enjoy that stuff. But I'm looking at it like, well, what can I do? So I'm trying to reasonably set my expectations.
If you really think about it, when you do the once a week thing, it turns out that you're doing, 52 sugar meals, I guess you want to call them, a year if you're doing it once a week. That's still a lot if you break it down that way.
Yeah, but I was having like sugar every day.
Yeah, right. But I'm just saying, if you look at it in that aspect, if you look at it just strictly number-wise, that's still a lot, considering how bad sugar really is for you.
Oh, it's
especially
terrible.
The processed sugar. It's like the worst thing for your body and for your brain. It's like the worst thing you can do.
It's awful.
But we treat it like a treat or this yummy special something or other. It's like it's addictive and it's worse than drugs, really.
Sugar is
it's so bad
addictive.
and it's so horrible for the human body, for the health.
Well,
it's just so bad.
I'll talk about my process too, just in case anyone's thinking about doing it or even if they've done it. For me, I mentally prepared myself and I'm like, okay. And I didn't say I was going to start on this day. I had like a time range I wanted to start. And I just wanted to see, okay, I went through a day, I had nothing. I got through another day. Hey, I'm on day 3. I might as well just kind of make that day, like just start. And I did okay. And after a couple days, I think it was like the second day in, I had a dream about donuts. And eating donuts. And then the next night, I had a dream where there was this table and there were donuts and cake and all these different desserts. And then the next night after that, I had a dream about salad. And I was eating salad. So I feel like I really progressed subconsciously.
So crazy.
And over the past few weeks, I have to look at what I'm eating because if there's processed sugar added into it, I'm not having it. So then I started in my second week having dreams that I was accidentally eating stuff or I almost ate something and I had to stop myself. Because even in my mind, I was trying to be so careful to watch what I put in my body. And I had a dream where there was like a bowl of these chocolate candies and I didn't remember eating it, but I could taste chocolate in my mouth. And I was with Alex in my dream and I got so upset and I was thinking, oh no, I ate this. I can't believe I did that. I worked so hard to get this far. And this is only 2 weeks in. But for me, in my dream, I was really upset with myself. So that's mentally where I've been.
All right. So your goal was to see if you could do it.
Yeah.
Now, what have you noticed as far as any benefits, side effects, drawbacks, withdrawals, whatever? What have you noticed physically?
Physically,
mentally too.
I feel good. I noticed within the end of the first week, especially, and going into the second week, I really noticed that my body didn't hurt as much. I would eat a dessert and then, we go to bed and I get up in the morning and just getting up out of bed and walking would be kind of sore for me. And since I've stopped having sugar, I get out of bed and I'm like, oh, this doesn't hurt. I'm not sore or achy. My body actually feels really good. And I've noticed that I don't feel as bloated. I used to feel really bloated all the time and now I don't. And I feel really good. So that's the other thing mentally. I might say, oh yeah, I'm going to go to once a week. And then I have like one day with dessert and I might be like, ooh, I don't want to do this. I might feel so gross after. I might say, yeah, probably better to just stick with fruit if I want something sweet.
Well, see, that's the fascinating thing about diets and all that kind of stuff. It's like you go through it, and I'm not just saying you, but I just mean people in general. You go through it, you get the positive results, the positive benefits. You feel better, you look better, you think better, all the positive stuff. But then that's how powerful this crap is. You still go back and eat it and do it. Like that's what I mean. Like it's so, like the fact that you're having these benefits and you're like, yeah, I'll go back to once a week. Like, why would you even do that?
Because it's so delicious.
See what I mean? That's why it's so bad and so dangerous.
And that's the thing. Like when it comes to like people talk about addiction, sugar is an addiction, but it's a legal one. It's not one that's frowned upon because for the most part, it's not like, oh, when you have a drinking problem, that can heavily affect the people around you or a drug problem. When you have a sugar problem, nobody really cares because you can still function normally. You might be overweight, but it doesn't really matter. It's so okay to have a sugar addiction.
Well, it's not okay, but
in society, nobody cares.
But society doesn't frown upon it the way it would, say, heroin or
exactly
any something like that. But it's worse for you. Like, I mean, really, long term, it's worse for you than anything else.
It's so bad.
Yeah, it's awful. Okay,
yeah.
So that then you've experienced positive benefits. Has there been any negative aside from weird dreams?
Well, you know what's weird about the cravings? The first week, I was like, nope, I don't want anything. Alex was like, do you mind if I eat a little ice cream? Will that bother you? And I was like, no, go for it. And I was totally fine with it. And then we had the backlash, PLE. And now usually when we do a PLE, I make stuff, especially for the kids. But we'll have like dinner and a dessert. I might make pizza and something for dessert after. And we weren't doing that. The kids, if they wanted some ice cream, they could do that. That's fine. But I wasn't having anything. And it really hit me. I was like, I want ice cream so bad. The cravings started getting worse. And then I wanted Chinese food. And I'm like, even my homemade Chinese food that I make, the sauces still have sugar in it, so I can't do that for the stuff that I like. And yeah, I was just like, I was getting those cravings like at the end of the second week going into the third week. It was bad. And it's like I'm kind of finally getting back on balance with where I am, but just mentally the cravings.
Yeah. See, I can't remember if I've ever done the no sugar thing. I just, if I want something, I'll have it. That's my take, especially ever since I haven't had to get into wrestling gear in front of people. It's like, yeah,
Well, that's normally how I am.
I'm whatever. Like I started intermittent fasting again, and that to me is the best way to eat because you give yourself a window, you stick with it. You're gonna lose weight if that's your goal because you're not gonna be eating as much. So calorie restriction. So as long as you're moving more, or even if you keep your activity levels the same, but you reduce your eating, you're gonna lose weight. And it to me, it's like I eat less of everything now because if I still want to have, like you mentioned, I had ice cream. If I want to have ice cream, I'm going to have ice cream, but I got to have it before my window closes, which means I want ice cream today. So like if I wake up, I'm like, yeah, I want ice cream today or whatever. Or like halfway through the day, I'm like, yeah, I want ice cream. Well, I'm not going to have as much to eat at dinner. So I have a little room left for some ice cream. So no matter what, like to me, that's like the foolproof way of dieting, not even dieting, but just eating and surviving and living because you can have whatever you want, at least me.
Well, that's something that I think we realized before because when we were doing wrestling, we were doing like workouts 6 days a week and we had one cheat day a week. We'd eat whatever we wanted, but then it was like counting calories. We had like the Fitbits, making sure that whatever, like putting everything we ate in. Oh, I have 10 calories left. I can have, a piece of cheese or like
and that
a gram
crap,
of cheese.
And that crap is so like not accurate anyway. It's just
No.
basically if you're using a Fitbit or a fitness tracker, it's just more so you have a general idea, but it's never accurate.
Exactly.
It's never accurate.
Well, and I hated doing that. I felt like I wasted so much time entering in everything that I ate. And
okay.
it's a time suck to have to, especially if it's not already in there and you have to put it in or if they don't have it. And
you're talking about food, like logging your food and stuff?
logging all your food.
Well, yeah, it's not. All right, I'll let you finish your thought then.
And so for me, I was like, I got to the point where I'm just going to eat what I want to eat. If I want a cookie, I'm going to eat a cookie because when I restrict myself, that's when I binge hard after. And it was like, but I don't need to eat a whole like dozen cookies. I can have one or two. And before it was like I was limiting myself so much that I did binge. And I realized if I just want something, I'll just have a little bit of it. I won't go crazy. And I realized I don't need a lot of it. If I have too much, it'll make me feel sick anyway.
Like the whole tracking stuff, I think is very important, and it is a big time benefit in my view because the way I look at it, if you're not tracking it, how do you know if you're improving? If you're not tracking, how do you know if you're improving? How do you know if you're hitting a specific goal or target if you're not tracking it? So, like I've gone away from tracking calories and doing that kind of stuff now because I don't really have any goal other than I just want to be lighter for my joints and the health of my internal organs more than anything. But I still work out. I track everything. I track all my weights, my reps, all that stuff. I still track all that because how else am I going to know if I'm improving? How would you know? But as far as like the calories and all, it's like that stuff, I think that stuff matters if you're trying to like look a certain way.
And we were back then.
And yeah, I mean, of course. But I mean, now it's like, as long as you think I look good, I'm cool.
Always.
If I can look at myself in the mirror and not like gag, then I think I'm doing okay.
That's the thing. Like, I don't even go on the scale. I go by how I feel.
I will go on the scale occasionally just to see, just out of curiosity, like, what do I weigh now? And sometimes I'll be way more than I think that I am. And other times I'll be like, oh, wow. But I fluctuate. I fluctuate like 10, 15 pounds, like in either direction all the time. And my goal now is just as I'm getting older, I just want to get lighter.
Yeah.
I just want to be lighter. That's all.
I want to be healthy.
I feel better when I'm way lighter.
Yeah. And like I said, I want to be healthy, and I know sugar is not great for me, and I wanted to see if I could do it, and I'm doing it. And I will say it really helps when you have people around you cheering you on, and when you're like, oh, I want this so bad, and they're like, no, you've got this. You can do it. It helps. It makes me think of when I was training at Chaotic and doing blow up drills, and you feel like you're going to just pass out and everyone's just cheering you on, and it just gives you that energy to keep going, to push through it. And it helps.
It helps if you have a support system, for sure.
It does.
It's not going to take away from it. It's only going to help.
Absolutely.
But I feel like if you have a goal in mind or something like that, it's like, yeah, having the outside support is great, but you've got to mentally be ready to do it all on your own, because you're only doing it for yourself.
Exactly.
You're not doing it for anybody else.
And that's where I was. I had to mentally prepare myself to be ready for that. And that makes a big difference.
Well, that is cool.
Yeah. And so we just had we had a two-part episodes about Hulk Hogan and the sex tapes and all that, the conspiracy with Trump.
Good times.
Yeah, because that was
Jeez.
after watching WrestleMania. And something else stemming from WrestleMania was Kill Tony.
That was stemming from WrestleMania?
Yeah, because they had during that weekend, they had the Kill Tony Mania.
Because he did a
thing.
WrestleMania special thing.
Yeah.
Or whatever, the show. Okay.
So we never really watched it. And
I saw Kill Tony before. I've seen an episode or two before, but it was like a while ago, and it wasn't like, I wasn't like blown away by it or anything. And I was like, what's the big deal with this show? But it's like huge.
Well,
it's huge. And Tony Hinchcliffe, they've had him on like Raw. I think it was like maybe last year or the year before, and to promote like the Kill Tony stuff, wasn't it? And because they did a stand-up thing last year, or a roast. They did a roast last year, and they had him on, and I was like, he was cracking jokes, but they were not funny. I'm like, this guy's not funny. Why is this guy so huge? And it wasn't until we actually watched like him doing in his element roasting that that's
well,
what
not
he
just
does.
that. So this year's Mania had the Kill Tony with WWE superstars on it.
Oh yeah, they'd have
and we watched that because that was on Netflix. The year before, they didn't air
They
it.
didn't air any. It was
of
like
that.
they sold tickets live. You could go live, and people like released
from their cell
cell
phones,
phone videos and stuff like that. But yeah.
And so we watched that. We're like, oh, okay. It's kind of funny. So we started watching on Netflix.
They have a couple of his specials on Netflix, but he does a weekly podcast that you could watch on YouTube and whatever. So
yeah, we enjoyed it. So we
we
were watching those. We were having a lot of fun. And again, so the concept is on his show, you go up, so there are people who are more known and they might get a little more time, but he'll pull for everyone else. He pulls your name out of a bucket and you get 1 minute.
He's sitting on a stage with Brian Redband, who's got like a soundboard, right?
Yes.
And then they have panelists that come up with him, which will be
special guests.
Yeah. And they'll sit there, and then he'll pull random names out of a hat, like you were saying, and they get 60 seconds to go up and do stand-up.
Yes.
And then as soon as they're done, he'll interview them, and they'll critique him or critique them or whatever, and he'll make comments, and funny remarks, and so will the panelists.
Yeah, and like if he really likes you, he'll give you a golden ticket to like come back on the show. And it's really cool because we're looking at like, yeah, this is a great way to support comedians. And then we found Kevin Hart on Netflix had Funny AF, where he went around to 3 different clubs, New York, Chicago, and LA, for comedy clubs to find like the best stand-up comedians. And we were watching that show, and that was really good too. And I remember we're getting down to like the final 6, and I'm thinking, I just want everybody to win.
Yeah, everybody did really well, I thought. Yeah, it was pretty funny. Like we don't really watch stand up a lot. Like we've watched a couple of specials here and there over the years, but it's never like a huge. It's like for a good 5-6 year stretch there, stand up comedy was like it just wasn't funny, or maybe I just wasn't watching or hearing the right people. But it was almost like it got too political in a lot of ways, and so I was just like, whatever. I don't want to. you don't want to, if you're going to watch stand-up comedy and they're political, they better be attacking both sides equally. Otherwise, it's not really funny.
Yeah.
To me.
It was very political, and also there was so many people, like people would get offensive, so you
Offended.
could see, sorry, people would get offended, so you had to, it felt like these comedians had to be careful with what they had to say, and that takes away from it too. We were watching
like woke comedy. It's so stupid. It's like, all right, enough.
We watched the roast of Kevin Hart, and I'm like, I feel like
well, first we watched the roast of Tom Brady.
We did.
We watched the roast of Tom Brady, and that was actually funny. It was really funny. Because a roast is nothing is off limits. That's the whole point of a roast. Anything is fair game.
It's meant to be offensive.
It's meant to be, let's say, the fucking most outrageous shit, and really just. But it's done in a. It's not done in a malicious way. It's done in a funny way. Like the people roasting the guest or the main person, they're like friends or they like them. It's not meant to be like, I fucking want you dead kind of thing. It's not that. It's just,
not like I want to destroy you.
No, it's outrageous stuff, but it's supposed to be funny.
Yeah.
And so the Tom Brady roast was that. It was definitely that. But then we watched the Kevin Hart roast, which was live just a couple days ago, and it was like they had some funny stuff on there, but it seemed like they were afraid to go and say certain things. It's like,
yeah, they kept skip ahead on the teleprompter.
Yeah, because they're reading the teleprompter, and people were saying, "Well, let's skip ahead. Let's skip that one." It's like, what? And it was just weird.
It felt like the crowd, like all the people in the front, all the celebrities and the rich people who got to sit at the tables in the front of the stage, they're all like, oh, like do they not know what a roast is? Why are they there?
And like Shane Gillis was the host, and he's hilarious. He's funny. I like him.
Trump impersonation.
Oh, he's awesome. He's hilarious. He looks down at one point. It was like probably 30, 40 minutes into the roast, maybe a little sooner. I don't know. And he looks, he's like, wow, you're just a bunch of pussies here in the front.
Yeah.
Like, and he's like, don't you know what a roast is? And it was like, yeah, what the fuck? Like the energies felt way different. And it was in the exact same building they did the Tom Brady roast in a couple years ago. It was the same building.
Different people.
You would think it's similar crowd, but no, this was like a lot of Hollywood A-listers are there, and like they kept showing on the camera.
And they're like, oh no, we can't laugh at that.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck is this? This is so stupid.
Yeah.
It was completely sucking the life out of the roast.
It did.
It felt like it took like an hour and 10, 15 minutes to get going and really get into it. And even then, it never like hit a level of like super funny.
And like they were leaving people out like, nope, not going to say anything about you.
Yeah, like because essentially, if you've never seen a roast before, you have the guest of honor, which in this case that we're talking about was Kevin Hart, and then you have other people on the stage that are going to be roasting him. And typically, the person that gets up to roast doesn't just say something about, in this case, Kevin Hart. They'll say something about, like, they'll make a dig about every other person on the stage. It's just, that's how it is. That's how it's always been. In this one, they were skipping over people. Not going to say anything about the black women. Not going to say anything about this woman. Not going to say anything about this person. It's like, wait,
like there
why?
were certain women
why
they chose to pick on, and the other ones they
just
didn't.
Skipped. Yeah,
like Regina Hall, I think was
Regina
one.
Hall.
Like,
no one said a word about her. Nothing. And she's on stage the whole time, and I swear she never cracked a smile. She never laughed. Nothing. Didn't matter what was said about anybody or any. She never like cracked a smile. Which I don't know how you do that with the stuff that's going on around you. You're around all these funny people and comedians. She
does comedy too, which is
So it was interesting. Like,
and she went up and did a roast.
Well, kind of.
But yeah, she kind of. It was a little.
Hers was a little offbeat.
Yeah, I feel like, and then going back to Kill Tony, Tony Hinchcliffe was like the only one who really like once he got up
and he went for killed it too.
He did. He did it.
Man, he killed it. It was awesome. But,
yeah, like it was kind of like he schooled everyone and like this is what you're supposed to do.
This is a roast. This is how you roast, you fucking idiots. Like essentially is what he was doing. It was awesome. It was great. I loved it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just weird. Like what? And then at the end, Kevin Hart's like talking about how he's gonna school everybody because you never had a seasoned comedian, a polished comedian up here closing out a roast, and now you do. And then he proceeded to not really say anything that funny. I didn't think. It's like, yeah, he says he says fuck a lot and fuck you, and he says that kind of. But it's like, all right, that gets old after a while. You gotta have some substance behind your fuck
There
yous.
was the whole thing. Cat Williams came out because he and Cat Williams had history, and Cat Williams came out, did his thing. It was funny. They, shook hands after, and then he went off. But again, he's like, no, it's all good. It's all good. So kind of like there, it was like he was going off, but then it felt like other people, it seemed a little more tame. But I don't know.
Yeah, it was just weird.
It makes me wonder, like, what's really going on?
Yeah.
Like, what are we
what's the comedy?
Or
what's the behind the scenes comedy drama?
Yes.
Because
we want to know what happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it just felt awkward.
Yeah, like the Cat Williams, I guess, for years has been calling Kevin Hart like a sellout, and I think he called him like a plant, or said that he was installed in the comedy scene, basically discounting all of Kevin Hart's hard work. And whether you like the guy or not, that dude does bust his ass. Like he's everywhere doing, like, he busts his ass. He's not he's
like Linda Global. He's in everything.
Yeah, right. He's not a lazy guy.
No.
But it was like anytime he would have some kind of a milestone or some kind of success, Cat Williams would discount it by saying something either on a podcast or social media or interview or whatever. He was always taking digs at Kevin Hart. And Kevin Hart would never take a dig back at him. He would say things like, we should be supportive of each other, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Basically, like, Cat Williams was kind of like the snippy heel, and Kevin Hart would play the babyface in peril, who was like, trying to lift everybody up with them. That was like kind of their roles, I think, in this, from what I've seen. And it was just weird at the end, like when they kind of hug and make up kind of thing. It was just kind of like, it's kind of strange. Whatever. I don't know. The Kevin Hart thing was disappointing, that roast, in my opinion. And I watched it twice because you'd fallen asleep while it was live. And so you went back and watched it the next day. I watched the whole thing live, and I was debating because you had fallen asleep. I'm like, should I keep this on? Because I don't want to laugh out loud at something and wake you up. But then I didn't laugh out loud at anything. I was like, okay, this is not really that funny. So. Yeah,
it
And they had The Rock come out.
Rock came out.
He got the biggest reaction of the night for sure. He got like the only like superstar reaction. But even his stuff, it just wasn't really that funny. Just a lot of swearing. It's like, oh, we could swear. Okay, great. You could say fucking shit a lot. Awesome.
Well, I mean, that was
that was it. It was like, there wasn't really anything super funny. It was, I don't know. Other than Tony Hitchcliff, I killed it. And Shane Gillis had a couple of one-liners here or there that were pretty funny. But there was a couple other people that would have like a joke or two that was like, that was clever. But there was nothing really that was just awesome, I guess. But anyway, moving on from that.
Yeah, and one thing that was going through my mind as we're talking about this, last night we watched the MVP MMA fight of Ronda Rousey versus Gina Carano.
Yep.
And we're going to get into that. But there was one fighter, he came in last minute to fill in for somebody, and his name is Fumi Nakuda. And it was so funny because he's like 5'4". That dude is a beast. He could wail. But I saw him coming out to his music, going to the ring, and I'm just thinking, this dude could be like such a good like stunt stand-in for Kevin Hart because of the height. Because Kevin Hart, that was one of the jokes they kept making, obviously, Kevin Hart's height because he's so short. And then I saw that guy, I'm like, oh, but that dude kicked ass. Like, that guy was awesome, and he came in last minute. And yeah, so why don't we, well, that made me think of it, why don't we talk about that?
What exactly do you want to talk about? The whole fight card? The whole what do you want to say?
What were your thoughts overall?
I liked the show. I thought the show overall was great. We watched the whole thing too. We watched the main card was on Netflix, and it started at 9 Eastern our time, and then they had it's a 5-match prelim undercard. 6 match, okay. And that was on YouTube. So we watched that like from beginning to end too. And
then the main card was 5 matches.
Okay. So we watched all the entire card. I thought it was great. I enjoyed the hell out of it. My one complaint was I hate the Inuit Dome. I hate that place. I hate that building and any building like it. All these new buildings that are all these new arenas that get set up with the lights on the seats. I fucking hate that with a passion because you cannot see people if they're wearing dark colors. If you're wearing a white or a gray or a yellow or a light colored shirt, it illuminates you and you stand out, but everything else gets blacked out. It looks like it's empty seats. All you see is the goddamn lights on the seats. It fucking sucks.
So you think nobody's there?
I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. So that is my biggest complaint about it, because we've seen it with the
building. That's not
the
MVP.
card. No, the fights themselves, the production of the show, the commentary, everything I thought was A+. I thought it was fantastic.
I want to point out, you had mentioned watching the roast of Kevin Hart. I fell asleep.
Yeah.
I did not fall asleep. Ronda Rousey and Gina Carano didn't even go on till like almost midnight.
It was after midnight.
I'm asleep at like 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And I stayed up because everything was so good.
Yeah, it was great.
And I'm looking on Twitter. I still call it Twitter. I know it's X, but I don't care. Fuck you. It's Twitter.
Right.
So I'm on Twitter. And I'm looking at what everyone wanted to shit talk this. And I'm just like, why so much hate? I do not get it. People are, oh, nobody's there. And I'm thinking, oh, no. Yeah, in the beginning, obviously, like the prelims.
Nobody's there.
Empty,
it's like you got like maybe
UFC.
Yeah, you've got maybe 500-600 people there.
But
There's
like
nobody
you
there.
mentioned, the way that place is designed with those little LED lights on, I think it's like on the armrests or something.
I don't know. It's stupid. Wherever it is, it's stupid.
You can't really see if people are there because, like you said, if they're in dark colors. And that gave a false illusion of looking empty. And everybody, even like during the main card, oh, they couldn't sell out. They're hyping this up. And what a horrible, horrible card. Nobody's even there. And they're just shitting on it. And then people who are actually there are taking photos of the crowd. The people are saying
full.
About 90% capacity.
Yeah, 90% full. I don't think it was a legit sellout.
No.
But it was like 90% full. And if you look at, see who's saying it's empty, it's not anybody that's there. It's people that are watching it on TV because of the illusion of the lights.
But they're going around like shit talking when people actually who are there put photos of the crowd and you can see there's actual people there and it's filled. Silence. Nobody says anything.
And it's not just people that are there. It's like the MMA journalists that are there. Like there's a reporter from ESPN who like went to the top of the building and took a photo of the building, like looking pretty full, saying no. And he was doing that in response to everybody saying there's no one there. And he's like, no, I'm here. It's full. Like, what are you talking about?
Then even was it like Figure 4 was saying how, it was supposedly empty? What?
Yeah, whatever.
Like, come on. If you're going to be a journalist, do your research. Something we've been saying since we've started this podcast, do your own research.
Yeah.
But like people just see stuff online and they go on with it because they like the narrative or whatever their reason is.
But that's the society and culture we live in today.
It is.
Nobody facts are not important anymore.
But the hate that this whole card received, this promotion received from so many people. I don't know if it's because people don't like Jake Paul. I don't know if because people are such UFC loyalists. I'm not sure what it is, but they're saying how, everything was awful. Every fight was awful. What? Were we watching the same thing?
See, that's why I wonder if that was even legitimate, if it was even people, or if that was like a bot army that was put out, because that's something, that's a business. Like they sell bots that will go out and you can, for a price, you can buy a bunch of bots that can go out and essentially like craft a narrative for whatever you're paying for. So if you want to make your event seem awesome, you can get it trending in a positive direction by hiring a bunch of bots. Was this bots that were paid for by TKO, which is the direct competition?
I don't know.
And UFC? Like, I don't know, because it was not like, it's like, are you watching the show? Or are you just on here talking shit?
Well, that's
because if you actually watch the fights, they were all fucking exciting.
They were.
Very good fights.
I stayed up past 9 o'clock to watch the whole thing. And that says a lot because normally I'm like, forget this.
But I'm talking
tired.
even the undercard
The
fights.
undercards were
There,
so
there
good.
was no bad fight on this whole show.
Every-
There's nothing boring. Everything was really good.
And these fighters were good and they were entertaining. And I was happy that they got a spotlight on them where normally otherwise they might not. And I'm looking at this like, this is great for MMA. This is great for fighters because there's more competition. The more competition you have, the more it gives both sides to elevate, or all parties to elevate.
Well, the better it is for the fighters. Now,
absolutely.
Because, I mean, we've talked in the past about how pro wrestlers are underpaid. You want to talk underpaid? Look at professional fighters in all, not just MMA, but boxing and kickboxing, all that. It's so underpaid for the amount of work they put in, the amount of training, the expenses of being a professional fighter. You have to hire a nutritionist. You got to eat right. You got to have coaches for every different aspect of what you need, like a nutrition coach. You need a lifting coach. You need a striking coach, a grappling coach, a wrestling coach, a jiu-jitsu coach, a kickboxing coach. You need all these different people that you have to hire so that you can get better and become world class and actually like get to a point where you're making some good money. It's like, it's not like you're getting rich doing this and you're beating the hell out of your body and you have just a short window of time where you can actually perform and do it. Mm-hmm. You get to, I mean, fighters peak at like in their early 30s, I think. I mean, most people's athletic prime is in their mid to late 30s. That's the peak. And then right after that, you go downhill quick. You start getting slower. You're not as explosive. I mean, that's just biology. Father Time is undefeated. But it's like, yeah, just seeing, like you were saying, like if you have two promotions, it's better for the fighters. Always.
And MVP was touting how they're paying these fighters more than what UFC pays them. So then this morning after the fight, there was people, I guess, the information about how much everyone got paid went out. And everyone, again, was shitting on MVP because of like $40,000. So like the first fight on the prelims, they got $40,000. And they're like, these people, they were just shit talking about how everyone else could go to UFC and make so much more money. But these people, like, what are you talking about?
Because there's people that don't know what they're talking about.
These fighters, when they go to UFC, they're making like on the prelims, the first one or two matches, like $12,000. And if they get a bonus, they're making like what, 24, depending on like what 22, depending on like what the bonus is, depending on what happens. So you could be walking out of there with $12,000 and then take out for taxes and fees and whatever.
Please.
That's not a lot of money if that's the only fight you get that year. And how much you have to pay, like Alex said, to get to that point.
And UFC stopped flying in. I read this recently. They stopped flying in the teams, like for the fighter. So the fighter has to cover airfare and all that for their team. It's like nobody's going to go to the cage alone. You have your coaches there. You need your corner man. You need your cut man. You need all that stuff. UFC stopped flying them in. Like they can't afford it.
So
you know what I mean? Like, come on.
So when
give me a break.
People are on social media saying how like the fighters weren't paid fairly and MVP lied about how, these fighters are making more money. It's like, that's bullshit. And you don't know what you're talking about because like actually look into the history of things. I don't know if people forget how bad it was that fighters sued UFC and they won.
And that's why a lot of people that are bitching about WWE ticket prices and stuff, TKO bought WWE so they could offset the losses that UFC and that lawsuit brought them. So all those raised ticket prices and shit, it's because they were trying to make money to pay off the debt that UFC incurred from that lawsuit. That's what a lot of that money goes to. For anybody that is not aware of all the different moving parts and machinations of the business, that's what's going on there. You have people that bought UFC and that bought WWE that could give two rats' dicks about the actual fighters or wrestlers, performers, the art form, the sport. They don't care about that. All they care about is money. That's it. They don't give a shit about anything else. So once you look at it from that lens, you go, oh, Okay, that makes sense. I mean, Dana White, he's the president of UFC. You don't think that guy actually cares about fighters? Of course he does.
Yeah.
Of course he does. He was there before TKO Endeavor, before they bought UFC. He was there. He didn't start it, unlike the fucking history that they rewrite now. He was not he didn't start it. I don't think he showed up till the early 2000s. Dana White was not there at the beginning of UFC. But he essentially took it to the next level and made it.
That's what I was going to say,
himself,
but he brought it
well,
up
he was part of it with the Lorenzo and Frank Fertitta, the Fertitta brothers. They're the ones that brought it to the next level, and they're the ones that eventually sold for $4 billion with a B. They sold to Endeavor, which is essentially a bunch of rich celebrities. I know like Adam Sandler's a part owner. You have like all these people that are part owners of Endeavor Sports, and then they've in turn they bought WWE and they formed TKO, and they have Ari Emanuel, Mark Shapiro. They have their board that they have, but it's not like they're fighters or they care, but they don't care. They care about making money, and they're a publicly traded company. So they are now what essentially like what when private equity firms buy like Chipotle. And they buy like fast food places or restaurant chains. And then you notice the quality goes way down. The portions go way down, but somehow the prices go up. What the fuck is that? Well, it's because all they care about is the bottom line of making more money. They don't care about the product, the substance of it. They don't care about you, the consumer. They care about your money and making more of it. That's it.
Yeah. And so, again, it's like, what, people being paid more fairly? I don't know. It's like these people just want MVP to fail, and it's
I
like,
think it's bots. It's the only thing I can think.
I
don't know all the stuff
I'm like,
you
who
see.
the hell are these people? And then the biggest thing of all was the main event, and Ronda Rousey gets Gina in the armbar in 17 seconds. Gina Carano taps out.
She took her right down and hit her a few times, and then reached over, grabbed was able to get the arm and put the arm bar on. Like she's done so many times in the past.
She's done it in 14 seconds.
That's how she
everyone's
made.
like, this is a work.
Oh,
it's a work. And what they were doing is somebody put a video of before their fight started, they show them kind of warming up before they come out, and they're like, see, Ronda Rousey didn't realize she was being filmed and it was live, and they're rehearsing what to do. And it shows somebody doing to Ronda exactly what Ronda did to Gina Carano. Well, yeah, because that was her goal. Get in, take her down as quickly as possible, get her in an armbar. That's what she does every time. Like, do these people, did they not watch during that time?
They don't know what fighting is. And it's funny because I actually saw someone who I love and respect immensely, Jim Cornette. Fucking love Jim Cornette. He's brilliant. I had the chance to work with Jim Cornette many, many moons ago for a time. So awesome, so knowledgeable. And I listened to his podcast, and he's so fucking smart when it comes to pro wrestling. He fucking shit all over this and was basically saying that it was a work and this. It's like, dude, he doesn't watch real fighting though, so he has no clue about it. He has no idea. And I read that it was on Twitter or whatever, X, and I'm just like, that just goes to show, like, you can be really smart and intelligent, but have no fucking clue what you're talking about when it comes to something like real fighting. You like Ronda Rousey? You think she wants to go? Because everybody was like afterwards, oh, I wish she would have been punched and blah blah and this and that. It's like, it's a real fight. They're not getting paid by the fucking hour. It's the goal as a fighter. You want to get in and win as fast as possible so you don't get hurt, and you'd like to do it without hurting the other person, like minimal damage caused. She went in and she immediately got a submission.
But that's her goal every time.
What she's always done. So the fact that people were shitting on this, the fact that people expected anything else is amazing to me. I told you, this is going to end fast.
Yeah.
Ronda's got a glass jaw, which she did not say at all building up this fight, to her credit, because you don't want to minimize yourself. Mm-hmm. You want to make yourself look as deadly as possible. But Gina Carano's got punching power. I told you, this could end fast because all it's going to take is one shot and Ronda's done. Ronda didn't let it get there.
No.
She went right for the legs and
But
took
that's
her
the
down
judo.
immediately.
Yeah.
And got right on her and fucking grabbed that arm and wrenched it. Done.
And when Ronda was fighting years ago regularly, I loved watching her because it was like, yeah, she was so dominant. And that was the thing. Like, you didn't want it to go longer. You wanted to see her dominate in that fight. Go in, get out. Like, do what you got to do. And that's what she always did. So everyone was complaining about that. But yet nobody was complaining about all the other fights that ended in the first round. What was his name? Jackson, I think was the last name.
I'm sorry, I don't remember his full name. But
knocked the guy out in like how many
PFL champ
seconds?
or something, yeah.
Yeah. And that was on the prelims. And
Jason Jackson. He defeated Jefferson Creighton. It was 22 seconds.
22 seconds. He knocked him out.
Oh yeah. It was brutal too.
Yeah. But that's the thing. And on the main card, all these first rounds, people getting finished. Nobody complained about that. Oh, you know what they did complain about that I saw online? They were complaining how on the main card, everything was done within the first round, so there were more commercials in between. And they said, this is just like WrestleMania. People, you know what? You complain about TKO, and yet they're doing the same thing. No, professional wrestling is totally different from MMA in the sense of professional wrestling times out how long each match will last. They know ahead of time.
They time it out. They rehearse the matches in advance, especially for WrestleMania. They've got rings set up in their performance center. They have a ring set up at the hotel. They have rings set up at the arena backstage so everybody can go over their matches. They have a producer that sits there, knows everything that's going to happen. They go down to the point where if you're going to stop and sell to the crowd for a second, that's rehearsed. And it's all communicated to the referee through an earpiece who's always right there communicating with the wrestlers. If the wrestlers forget what they're supposed to do, the ref tells them. It's like everything is timed out. So they time it out to accommodate commercials and to fit in as many commercials as possible. That's what happened at WrestleMania. They sell ad spots. Yeah, of course. That's how they make money, through sponsorships. That's not a fucking secret. But they didn't cut any matches short. If the fight went 3 5-minute rounds, or if it was going to go 5 5-minute rounds, depending on its spot on the card, you saw the whole fight. You got what you got. That was it. This is real fighting. It's either going to last the whole time and be boring, or it could last the whole time and be exciting. It's just two evenly matched guys that can't finish each other, or it's going to end quick. It happens. That's a real fight.
Yeah.
That's why it's real, because you can't script it.
But so people were complaining about that with the commercial breaks, but I watched it. Like I said, I did not fall asleep.
I felt it flowed better than like a WWE show as far as like commercials and pacing and stuff like that.
WrestleMania finished early and I was getting tired. Everything happened so quick, but it was the long commercial breaks. But this, I was staying up past midnight and I thought it flowed fine. So I look at it like so many people that I saw online look like they want it to fail. They're putting out all this shit information. And will MVP succeed? I don't know. I would like for it to succeed so there's another platform for these fighters. I think that would be great, especially if they can start making fair money. Like we said with wrestling, we want wrestlers to get paid what they deserve. They deserve to get paid more.
But they're taking pay cuts.
Yeah, and now they're like, oh, we're going to take some money away.
Yeah.
But pay these guys. And if you get another platform for them where they can get paid better, and then, like I said, the competition can increase, it's just better for everybody. So why do you want to shit on that? I don't get it. Maybe I missed something.
No, I don't know all the stuff you're seeing, because I don't. Obviously, we look at a lot of different things when we go online. I try not to focus on those negative things. Occasionally, something will slide into my purview, and I'll see it, notice it, and I'll be like, "This is stupid." Yeah. But yeah, it's kind of like you want there to be competition. That's the best for everybody involved, and the people that win the most, if there's good competition, is the audience and the people doing it, the participants, the fighters, the wrestlers, the performers. If there's competition, it's better. It just always is. So for mixed martial arts, you want, okay, there's UFC and it's been around now. It's the big dog, but you want to have competition. There's Bellator. Is there Bellator even still around?
I
don't even
know
know.
if Bellator MMA is still around,
But
but I mentioned
there used to be Bellator,
before. Yeah.
and that was never really got off the ground. Then there was like the PFL, and I forget what that stands for. I'm sorry, but there's not much. And now MVP did their first MMA card,
and it was on Netflix, which made it easier for more people to get eyes on.
I hope that it's successful.
Yeah, for
just
sure.
because it's better
Netflix.
for the fighters. Just like I hope, as much as I can't stand watching it because it's mindless to me, I hope AEW wrestling is successful because you need to have competition. You need to have competition. It makes everybody work harder, and it's better as far as financially for the people that are putting their bodies on the line.
Agreed. Yeah. So before we have a couple other topics we want to hit on really quickly that we've noticed going on. I know we're hitting about an hour now, but
are we? Oh,
yeah.
Oh, look at that.
So I just want to move on to the next thing.
Sure.
UK announced digital IDs.
Yep. It's starting, folks.
Yeah. What's the prince's name? I forget.
No, it's the king.
King
Charles.
King
now.
Charles,
yeah. King.
He's a king now.
Yeah. Digital ID will be rolling out in England, in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
Heaven help us all.
That, I looked on social media to see what people were saying, and yeah, a lot of people weren't happy with that.
Well, obviously.
So what are you going to do? You got to stand up and revolt. You got to fight.
Well, you look here in our country, and you have all these data centers going up. What do you think that's for?
Right.
You think that's so you can use ChatGPT or what is Claude AI and Grok and all? No.
And
that's not for that. That's to enslave you dumbasses.
And those data centers use up so much energy. Like people where they've gotten put up, their water bills, because it uses so much water, and their electric bills have gone up. And how does that make sense? They're not using it, but they're getting charged for it.
Well, because they're not. Their local politicians have sold them out.
Exactly.
That's
Fortunately, here in New Hampshire, our governor said that she doesn't want them. So hopefully we can.
Well, hopefully it stays that way.
Hopefully it stays that way.
Yeah, we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy, but if you're in America, especially if you're like in a town or a city or a state where they're talking about putting them up, you got to do everything you can to fight it.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, you can't go out shooting people. That's not a thing. And we don't want to call the violence, nothing like that. But you got to take write your congressman, your local councilman, you got to let people know.
Yeah.
You got to get your neighbors involved. Like you got to
show up places and be
no, this cannot happen. But it's too bad too. And I noticed like they there's a lot of ads out that I've seen on different like job sites and websites and things like that where they're offering like $200,000 a year to electricians so they can go and wire up and help build these data centers and stuff. And it's like, dude, you're building your own prison.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, $200,000 a year. That's great money. But once that year's done, guess what? You've now built a digital prison for everybody, a digital surveillance state.
And that's what the digital ID is going to do. So that'll be interesting to see what happens with that. And speaking of when I was like, oh, you got to show up places to kind of make your voice heard. You found it's a company that will bring protesters.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't remember the name of it now. It's like crowdsondemand.com, I think.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Where you can go. And now this is not something that you or I would do because it's obviously very expensive. And you can write them for a quote, which I did not do. I don't want to be on this company's radar, especially considering the roots of it and what country is in charge of it and all that. They're based in the United States, but the funding comes from somewhere else. I'm going to just leave it at that. But you can. They brag right on their website what their crowds have done. They show up for protests. They've put people out of business, showing up with paid protesters to protest a business.
Which is so funny because for years, people like us have been called conspiracy theorists when we're like, yeah, these are paid protesters showing up at these events. Yeah. No, they're not. So now it's like known. It's out there.
It's out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's out there. Just like it's one of the worst kept secrets now. Yeah. It's been so publicized.
I think that people just want to ignore the truth.
They don't want to realize that they've been lied to and that they got suckered this whole time.
For sure.
Nobody wants to admit that, but they will organize this crowds on demand, like as many people as you need. They'll get them, however many you need to make a statement to turn a narrative your way. It's insane. But it just shows you that the reality we live in is so manufactured. And just that's why I choose my best to try to ignore and not partake in any of it, because it's like I'm not giving it my energy.
Absolutely. And what I find is interesting is we did an episode, was in 2020 or 2021, where
It was a while ago.
disclosure happened and nobody cared. And they released information on UFOs that they renamed UAPs.
So stupid.
We did an episode,
So
go back, listen to it. But now it's happening again. And I feel like...
Well, it's been going on for the past few years, but go ahead.
But more has come out. There have been more. There's been photos and videos.
Well, they declassified a bunch of documents and videos and pictures, and they're releasing them to the public in like a data dump kind of thing. And from what I've heard, they were supposed to be weekly, but I have not seen anything for this week. I only got the first data dump, if you will, and you can actually download it and go through it offline so that you're not on the websites or whatever. And I went to theblackvault.com, which that guy's been around forever. John Greenwald is his name, and he basically his whole thing was he wanted to find out about what the government knew about aliens and UFOs way back in like the 90s, and he started this website, and he would just do FOIA requests, Freedom of Information Act requests to the government, and then whatever they'd send him, he'd scan it and put it on his website. And he's had this website forever. So I just went there, and he has like a whole thing where you can search through, and he's made like this whole thing with this UFO data dump, and he allows you to download it off his site. So I downloaded it, and I just went through it all on my own. I didn't go through the PDF files yet because there's tons of them, but I looked at all the pictures, and you and I watched some of the videos together. I watched all the videos, and it was like, okay, this is it for the first release. Okay, I guess it's all right, but I don't know what else is going to come out.
What's difficult to determine is for the videos, we have no idea really the size of what it is they're looking at, the distance. Some of it looks like it's over water, some of it looks like it's over land, but the way the video is, it's sometimes hard to tell. So there's no information because there is information on the videos.
I was you said there's no information. I was saying no. There's no. It's the what I was gonna say was the footage, the video footage. It's not like camcorder footage. It's from like fighter planes.
Yes,
it's their flight recorders, their video recorders or whatever. That's what it is. So that's what you're seeing, and of course they redact out. They have black bars over the whatever flight it is or the locations, any kind of information that they don't want public. But the video quality itself, it's fine. You can see the UFO. You can see what they're filming. You see what's there. But yeah, it's there's no context as far as like where did this take place, what year was it, what time of day was it? Was it night? Was it day? You can't really tell because it's mostly black and white. A lot of the stuff.
It's that
a grainy
night vision
type. Yeah, so it's hard to tell. And there's a couple videos where you could tell it takes place over water because you could see it's like a little barge in the water, and it's like a small boat, and this orb
and it looks
ball
small.
Of light, whatever it is, looks tiny, but it's flying around, and it's obviously under some kind of intelligent control because it wouldn't move like that just randomly. Like, I mean, it's just a lot of weird stuff, but yeah, not enough information as far as that goes. I didn't see any flying saucers like the usual, like none of that was there. They more so looked like balls of light. And then there was some that were really weirdly shaped. There was one that looked like a nautical star.
And not like weird. The stars, like people get tattooed on them, but like a compass kind of nautical star.
Very strange.
And looking. I wonder if there's something with magnets taking place that kind of spread the way the light is, and like whatever metal or whatever, it causes a distortion. I don't know.
And I don't know how old these videos are. Yeah. When were they taken? Like, there's not that information's not there. It might be in the PDFs. I looked through and I didn't see anything like that. But again, there was a lot. As far as that goes, with the videos and pictures, not that much. And that's why I went through that blackvault.com, because you can, like I said, he separated them all into folders. So You have a folder of the pictures and the videos. It's all separated. But the PDFs, there was a ton. It was like, wow, okay, this could take forever to go through.
And we'll have to do more research. But I wonder, are they putting all this stuff out? Are they going to try to, do something to take away our rights and like the digital ID stuff? Like, what's going on now that we're not seeing yet, but will come out?
And that's where I go with it. It's like, this is the topic that has fascinated me the longest time, ever since I was a little kid. And I think a lot of people my generation, that was kind of the thing. Because when I was growing up, you had E.T., Close Encounters of the Third Kind. That's when those movies were coming out. So that was kind of in the consciousness a little bit. Yeah. That's when it was kind of really starting to amp up or ramp up, I guess. And I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's real, what's not. I just don't trust the government. And I feel like if they're letting it out now, why?
Yes.
For what purpose? What's coming down the pike? I'm naturally skeptical, and I think everybody should be, honestly.
Well, earlier, my question, honest politicians.
Yeah.
And it just makes me think, if they're talking about this, because some alleged religious leaders came out saying the government told us to prepare for this and blah, blah, blah. And I just think, okay, there's a ruse going on. Something's coming. Something's going on.
It's a psyop.
They want us to focus on this.
Yeah. What are the? I look at it like they're trying to take our attention and focus off of something really important by distracting with something like this that they're going to frame as really important. And I always go back to food. I've been saying it for years. There's going to be food shortages. There's going to be starvation. That's why we try to become self-sufficient in a lot of ways, because I feel like that's the end goal. And you're seeing a lot of it. A lot of farmers coming out talking about their crops aren't growing. You have the stuff going on with Iran right now, the Strait of Hormuz closing. Why is that important? It's not your gas prices that everybody's seeing go up ridiculously. Yeah. It's fertilizer. And why is fertilizer not made in our country? It's not. It's all imported. Like 90% of it is.
And what's so messed up is you have farmers, right? Well, they want to get rid of cows. Bill Gates wants to get rid of all the cows because of methane. It's like, no, all that stuff, like that's in the ground anyway. When grass dies, when all that, it comes up anyway. It's just going out through the cow. So it's just like the earth has its natural cycle with living things. And it's like these people get involved who shouldn't, and they want to screw everything up. Fertilizer, you have a farm. Cow manure is fertilizer. We have chickens. Their droppings, it's fertilizer. You can't put it straight on. You got to mix it. It takes a little bit of time, but you make fertilizer with it. Like, I mean, that's how it is. So
what I find hilarious, and what nobody ever really calls out, when you have companies, corporations, governments saying we need to reduce our carbon footprint. Do you know that you and I are both carbon-based?
Yes.
You know what that means when they say we need to reduce our carbon footprint?
We need to
reduce fucking humanity.
Yeah.
We need to reduce life.
Yes.
Because we're all carbon-based. All of all living things.
And that's not a resource problem. That's nothing but a control issue.
It's a control. Exactly.
Yeah.
There's too many of us to control. They need to eliminate us. So when you hear that bullshit, we're reducing our carbon footprint. No, you're doing the fucking wrong thing. Hello.
And then I just get in my head, Soylent Green
up.
is people.
Yeah, wake up, you fucking sleeping sheep. Jesus Christ, how much more in your face can it get? But again, that's how dumbed down the population and society is. And it's like, hey, if you can't wake up and realize that you're being lied to and that you're just being used and manipulated, well, nothing. I mean, we can only say what we can say.
They want the computers to think for you. Let the computers tell you what to think.
Yeah.
That's why we need these data centers to track you and then tell you what you need to think and do.
The AI craze and all the things that people are saying and all the fear porn and all this stuff that's going on. Like, I think that AI can be useful, of course, like any other technology, but it's also, it can be evil if it's used in that context as well. I saw, and we'll end on this because we could go on forever, but I saw earlier today in Canada, they did an audit of AI systems that were being used in physicians' offices. And they found that in over 80% of cases, because all the doctors up there, and I know they're doing it in the United States too. I haven't been to the doctor in years, but I'm sure they're doing it here too. What will happen is the patient will be in with the doctor, and they are using some kind of software where the AI is listening to the patient and who's giving their symptoms, their whatever their problem they're having. And then it will sit and go through its database and will come out with a recommendation for the doctor. So when the doctor's sitting there with a laptop, he's not fucking looking shit up for you. He's just looking to see what the AI is transcribing for him to say.
No, and that's cheating. No, you went to medical school. Do your fucking job.
Anyway, so what they found is that the AI is making things up and fabricating things that are not really there. It's fabricating symptoms of patients and giving out advice and medication recommendations that have nothing to do with what the person is saying. And they found that in 80% of cases that were audited.
Because people are being lazy. Audited. They don't want to do their own job that they're getting paid to do.
But that's what I mean. Like, it's crazy that and people there, they're just going to trust the doctor because he's a doctor. It's like, this is what I mean. Like, nobody wants to take personal, as a society, culturally, in every country, we've gotten so lazy. It's like, you have to be responsible for your own health. You have to be.
Yeah.
It's nobody else's job to make you healthy or keep you healthy. Now, if you're stuck and you're having an issue that you cannot figure out, yeah, of course, there's experts. There's people you can go to. There's things you can do. But for the most part, you shouldn't be relying on someone else to get you healthy or keep you healthy. That should be your responsibility. And you know what? Honestly, it starts in the home. It starts with the family. It has to start with parents raising their children differently and correctly, teaching them about nutrition, about exercise, daily movement, getting sunlight, fresh air, drinking water, not soda, that kind of shit.
But again, and we've touched on it before. All the stuff that's like shit for you, the stuff you shouldn't eat because it's so bad for you, that's what's affordable for most families. We did an episode, The System Really Is Rigged Against You 2.0. Go listen to it. And we talk about how there's an article about like the bottom 60% of Americans are living in poverty. It's like, yeah, no, that's the majority. Then if
the
it's
bottom
60%
is the majority.
Yeah.
Hello.
And we talked about how the system is rigged. So like, you can't buy the food that's good for you because you can't afford it. The organic stuff, it's more expensive, and that's done for a reason. And that's why it's like, try to grow your own food if you can. If you got an apartment, they have these grow bags. If you have like a little deck or porch or something, you can put it on or put something underneath it to catch the water, but try to grow your own food. But like, it's set up against you because they don't want you healthy. They don't want you to succeed because then they don't make money.
Well, what you're saying is partly accurate. If you live in an apartment and you have a grow bag, how much food can you grow for yourself realistically?
I get that.
And how long does it take? What you're saying is correct. You should be able to do that and have something like that. If you have a yard, have a garden.
Yeah.
Now, it's only going to feed you some of the year, part of the year, but if you grow enough of it, you can you can do that kind of stuff. So you do have some kind of food source, so you get away. I think that's part of the a step towards fixing the current issues that people have. Become more self-sufficient. Don't rely on grocery stores as much. In any way you can.
Yeah.
Little by little.
And circling back to like me doing a sugar detox. Why? Because I felt it's something I want to do because it's healthy for me. So I want to do that because it's better for me. Yeah.
I mean, like I'll tell my kids all the time, I'm going to work out. Okay, have a good workout, or aren't you tired, or aren't you sore, aren't you hurt? You were limping earlier, all that kind of, I'm like, yeah, I don't want to go work out. It's not like I love it. I enjoy how I feel after I'm done for like the 20, 30 minutes till all the aches and pains come back. But it's like, I do it because it's good for me and it's healthy, and I want to stay around as long as I can, but I also want to feel as good as I can while I'm around. And that's a choice I made for myself. Nobody told me that. Nobody said that you have to do this or whatever. It's like, but that's the thing. Like people have to love themselves enough to want to give themselves. I mean, I don't go to a chiropractor. I don't go to a doctor. I don't do anything. I do it all myself.
Yeah, I think sometimes you just got to mentally get there.
Yeah,
But yeah, in terms of the AI stuff, we always try to say, let's just avoid the doctors if we can.
Oh gosh,
But
now especially.
now it's like you're
come
going to get
on.
misdiagnosed. You're going to get put on something that could make it worse. Who knows? Like, and it's not saying that to scare you, but to bring it to mind, to have these conversations. What's really going on? What's going on with our political system, our healthcare system? What's going on within our country, within our homes, and how can we make it better? What can we do? These are the things that we want people to think about that works for them.
And at the end of the day, all you can do is the best you can do for yourself and your family.
For sure.
And if everybody just did that and not worried about what Peter, Paul, and Mary are doing next door, would be a lot better off. If everybody gets their own house in order, we'll be all so much better off.
We can be better neighbors.
Yeah, 100%. All right, we went on a tangent there at the end. Wasn't trying to be preachy. Apologize if I came off that way, but that's just how we feel. So I think that's a good place to end it for now. And until next time, where we're going to come back with something real exciting, I'm sure. I am the Golden Greek, Alex Arion. I've been joined as always by my beautiful, lovely, gorgeous wife, Monique.
And you've been listening to the Homewrecker podcast.
We love hearing from and interacting with our hearers and watchers. Feel free to reach out to us on Twitter
at Homewrecker Pod.
You can also visit our website,
homewreckerpodcast.com,
where you can check out past episodes and pick up some Homewrecker Podcast gear from our online store.
Also, if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe or follow button wherever you're hearing or watching our show. That way you can be notified whenever a new episode drops. We're on all major podcasting platforms, and you can check out the video versions of our show at YouTube and Brighteon.
You can also find Monique in a few places online as well.
I'm on Twitter @_MoniqueGiselle_. If you're interested in a tarot reading, organite, incense, candles, and other cool things, you can go to my website, tarotbymonique.com. Or if you're interested in hypnotherapy, you can go to innerstandingshypnosis.com to schedule a free 20-minute consult. And follow me on Twitter @MoniquePCHT. And Alex, how can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter @TheAlexArion, and you can check out my website, AlexArionFitness.com.
And if that's too much to remember, we get it. That's why we put it all in our show notes.
Thanks for spending your time with us, and we appreciate all of your support.
We do. Thank you. We love you. Many people are unaware just how much hypnotherapy can help them, or think it's only to help lose weight or quit smoking. But there is so much more hypnotherapy can do. It can help with stress, anxiety, insomnia, phobias, performance enhancement, connecting with your spirit guides and higher self. You can even discover past lives and your life between lives. Heal traumas, break habits, find your deepest truth, or just have fun discovering who you really are, all from the comfort of your home. I'm Monique Pliakis. I'm a certified hypnotherapist, and I want to help you. Schedule a free consult by going to www.innerstandingshypnosis.com. That's INNERSTANDINGSHYPNOSIS.com. Innerstandings Hypnosis. Find your power and ignite your inner light.